Welcome to Grey Primer, a weekly show that's mostly about miniatures. My name is Nick, I'm your host, and in this episode I'm having a Walker special. My favourite units in 40k, and I'm having a look at the Ironstrider from the Adeptus Mechanicus and the Sentinel from Astra Militarum. So my favourite miniatures out of everything are dreadnoughts. I just love them. I just love how chunky they are and stompy, and just they're also lethal and pretty grim, actually, the lore behind them. But I just think they're so cool. And I know there are some challengers out there, and I'm going to have a look at two of them today. I'm going to have a look at the Astra Militarum Sentinel, which is kind of an interesting looking miniature, if it's not a very interesting looking box. It is so lonely looking there. And the other one is the Adeptus Mechanicus Ironstrider, which looks skinny, gangly, fast, and pretty cool. How will they fare against a dreadnought? Let's see. Okay, so we're going to start with the Astra Militarum Sentinel. This is a cool little walker. I'm liking these exhaust pipes here, very Optimus Prime. Got the lascannon on the side here, nice pneumatic showing on the legs and everything. And on the back, it looks like there's a variant build here. So what's this called? The Armored Sentinel. And then this other one is the Scout Sentinel. So I got a few different weapons here, which means I think I'm going to get left with a lot of extras, which makes me very happy. Oh, nice. Straight away, that's a happy sight. The Imperial Guard tank transfers. So they haven't completely updated this to be called the Astra Militarum tank transfers, and I'm happy about that. I will always make use for decals. Nice big base. Guessing that's 65. Yep, so that's a 65 mil base, which is the same as the Dreadnought base. Instructions, we've got the painting guide for both variants there on it. The Scout and the Armored. And pretty much clear here. Follow steps 1 to 6 for the Scout, 1 to 2, and then hop over to 7 to 9 for the Armored. Color instruction manual, which I love always. You can see they do these really nice, you can show that they show the glue points in yellow, which is always incredibly handy. And this looks to be pretty straightforward. And nice sort of separation there between the two types, the Scout and the Armored. It's a nice big feat here. I know I can see it in the image on the front, the height of this, and I can sort of look against the Dreadnought, and I imagine it's just going to be slightly taller than the Dreadnought. I think the Adaptus Mechanicus Ironstrider is going to be significantly taller. And now we got some weapons. That's more like it. Astra Militarum Imperial Guard. Your regular firearms may be a little better than flashlights, but when you bring big guns to the battle, you really outdo yourself. So let's have a look at the Adeptus Mechanicus Ironstrider. And yeah, that's going to be taller. Definitely taller. A lot less protection for the rider up top, for the pilot. But this thing is agile looking for sure. Okay, so really good to have an AdMech transfer sheet. Okay, I didn't realize it was an oval base. Yeah, it didn't look like an oval base in the front, it just looked like a perspective thing. But now I see it like this, I get it. But yeah, wasn't expecting that at all. And here we go. So there are two variants. There's the Cydonian Dragoon and the Ironstrider Ballistarius. And follow 1 to 7 for that, 1 to 3, and hop to 8 to 10. Very similar to the Astra Militarum one there. Black and white instructions, it's not what we've come to expect, but we'll stumble through them. I'm sure it'll be fine. It is nice to get the color, though. We're spoiled now, I think. Okay. Lots of tiny pieces. Oh, I'm liking this sort of medieval lance look to it looks like a supersized cattle prod. Okay, so that could be interesting. That's yeah, the most likely build so far. Whatever incorporates that into it. So I've got that for the Ironstrider and for the Sentinel, that huge missile. Oh, some of the weapons here are fantastically detailed. You know, so a lot of intricacy here. I mean, look at these. You see these pistols? Oh, I'll flip them around. They are really ornate. And I know I looked at Adeptus Mechanicus Vanguard Detachment, the Apocalypse box set last month. I'll put the link in the show notes below. And I think I'm going to spend a bit more time looking at the range and see what else I want to get from there. Maybe get some rolling armor or something like that. You know how much I love my tanks. But for now, let's go get these built up and I will be back soon. Bye-bye. Okay, welcome back. I've got the Adeptus Mechanicus Ironstrider and the Sentinel from the Astra Militarum. And let's just have a quick look at the heights here. As you can see, the Ironstrider is a lot narrower. Well, not that much, a bit narrower than the Sentinel. But it does have a few feet on it in height. And I'm just going to add in the Dreadnought here to give you a sense of where it lines up. Still the prettiest, but it's by no means the tallest. The Ironstrider went together pretty nicely. It's a spindly kind of build. Definitely were a few moments within it where I was like, is this going to connect together? What angle should this little guy be at? Which angle should these little guys back here be at? It just didn't feel like there was much direction in where they should go. And then I kind of realized that it doesn't matter. They can go whatever. These little support struts here aren't long enough to actually make connection with the base. So you don't have to sort of line them up. You can just see they're just slightly like a millimeter short of the base there. So I guess you can have them pointing out whatever direction you want. There's no sort of defined path for them to follow. There are some beautiful details around this miniature. Some really gorgeous stuff. Huge guns on the top. And I love this guy whose entire job is just to shoot stuff. I was like, how is he supposed to drive? And he's not. This poor guy here, who is hard plugged into the Ironstrider, you can just see his shoulder and his elbow there and his arm stuck into these mechanical arms. He's been grafted into this thing. He's got stems going straight into his skull there. This tube coming out of his mouth. His face is permanently fixed into this viewer, this sort of sensor array here. I mean, look at this poor guy. Arms have been chopped off and turned into these mechanical things. His legs have been chopped off and are hardwired into the legs of the Ironstrider. So this is a haunting bit of tech. The closer you look at it, the more you realize just how nasty it is. You cannot say that about the good old Astra Militarum Sentinel. It's just a traditional dude sitting in a cockpit, making the thing go forward, and also in charge of shooting stuff. Lovely details. There's actually nice flexibility in the legs there. I wanted to make it look like it was just sort of mid-turn, like it had been heading in this direction. It had been heading in this direction, and then all of a sudden it spotted an enemy over here and was twisting to engage. It just felt really nice. It felt very much like a scout walker from Return of the Jedi running around on Endor. And yeah, pretty enjoyable build throughout. I would actually like to build a bunch more of those. The Ironstrider's not so much. It didn't feel like I was designing it myself, creating a narrative. It just felt like I was following the instructions, and that was that. Whereas with the Sentinel, it felt much more like I was creating the narrative. I was capturing this moment in its life where it was engaging this target off to its right. And I just, and you've got this duder inside here trying to keep control of this thing, trying to not get shot. And yeah, this was much more fun to put together. So have they toppled the dreadnought off the top spot? No way! It's not going to happen. I mean, this is graphically violent and terrible what's going on in the Ironstrider. This is an ugly glimpse into the 41st millennium. It's an ugly glimpse into what goes on in these Forge worlds, these AdMech Forge worlds. The Sentinel is much more like one man and his machine heading off to try not to die. And I love that. I absolutely love that one. Individually, they're just not going to dethrone the Dreadnought from the top spot. But a lot of fun to put together. Listen, that's it wrapped up. So I will be back tomorrow with one more video. And it's a doozy. It's the tactical warsuit. And if any walker is going to be in with a chance of replacing the Dreadnought as my number one, it's going to be this thing. It is a beast. And that is coming in the next episode, which I'll have for you tomorrow. Please like, share, and subscribe if you're enjoying the content. And I will talk to you soon. Take care now. Bye-bye.